So let me tell you in a slightly flippant, lighter-hearted manner. You know, I was listening to Modi ji's speech one day, and he said, and I met him 2 weeks ago, and I told him this. I said that this is the thing that's driving me today. He once said in his speech, he said, you see on this side is written work in progress. So there's so much construction work in progress. He said, and he used it beautifully. He said, "Ye mera Bharat ban raha hai." I told him 2 weeks ago, and I saw him 3 weeks ago. I said, Modi ji, मैं आपके साथ छोड़ दिया भारत बनाने को. So our real estate business is something that is building India. And we are a company. The slogan Gandhi said, "Roti, kapda, makan." We are the only company in India that does that. We give roti to 40,000 people. We make kapda, which we have done all our life. And we don't makan. But on top of this, we do one thing more, which I wish Gandhi ji had said, but I hope he will be happy that we are doing it, is we educate children in our schools. And I think we have more than 30,000 children now in our schools. And I have made a public commitment that I will educate 100,000 children a day before I die. So next week you will hear we are opening one more school in Kalyan, and we are rapidly expanding our education here. So yes, there's an opportunity, but I've answered the question in a different way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there's a question here in the front row.
You did mention that you have other, dreams also, maybe one day aerospace and all. So if you could just elaborate and, what kind of expansion you are thinking, in future about the group.
No, I think we want to see the group grow at least 15% a year with 20% EBITDA margin. But like Raymond said, the real estate business last year grew 46%. Aerospace today you're talking about, there's a huge desire by international companies to come to India. I was at the Paris Air Show last week. A lot of interest in India. How much of it will convert is difficult to say today. But if you ask me a scale of interest in India today, it's 11 on 10, not 10 on 10. Now, how much if they are willing to throw the ball, how much can we catch it? So, we are a group that stayed in India. We are a brand for the people of India. And Raymond is a brand that's been in the top 10 brands again this year in the brand surveys. We're probably one of the only consumer brands in this country that's gone 100 years. There are 30 companies that have done 100 years. By the time we would have done 100 years, it would probably be, I don't think there's a second consumer brand that's a 100-year-old consumer brand in this country. So, in some symbolic way, we are the fabric of the nation. And I'm very proud that we are sitting here as an Indian company delivering the basic needs, I would say, what this company wants, what this country wants. It needs employment, which we deliver. It needs clothes with people deliver. And we don't make only expensive. We're the only company in the world that goes from 300 rupees a meter to 10 lakh rupees a meter. We do 3,000 times in price point. So we dress India. We don't just dress the rich. There are many companies that work for the rich, and we work across it. But lastly, we want to give affordable luxury housing, which is a big need in this country. Somebody who changes lives. Our clothes have changed people's lives. We want our apartments to change people's lives. We make you buy a 2-bedroom house. Today I can put my hand on my heart and say, in given opportunity, we give the best facilities any developers give. So we give you a lifestyle. Your lifestyle makes you happy. That's what makes my brand.
Yes. So I think
sorry, where am I taking the question from? From here?
Yeah. So sir, I wanted to ask, are there any plans to diversify beyond the MMR? You were interested in new projects as well?
Bombay for the moment.
Okay.
We will look at Pune at some point, but today we are focused on Bombay. And there's a lot of opportunity in Bombay. So we have enough work coming our way in Bombay, so I don't see any reason why we shouldn't.
Okay. So for the time being, you're sticking to Bombay?
Time being.
Okay, thank you.
We want to focus in our niche. We want to be a very focused player. We're very financially disciplined. And the benefit of having a publicly listed company is the governance. make an open challenge. We are now several projects going on. There's zero cash in this business. You go and talk to any salesman and say, "Can I pay cash?" We lose sales because of that. But I mean, it's a top quality board. So we want to create value through this company. We believe there's a lot of value opportunity in this company, which is where we are.
This is Ben from the New Indian Express.
Sorry, can you?
Ben from the New Indian Express.
Sorry.
Ben from the New Indian Express. The New Indian Express.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. Could you share some revenue numbers and profitability? What is your cash flow? What is the revenue potential you have out of the 6 projects underway? How many units you have delivered? And these 6 projects will deliver how many more? And plus, you spoke about this is value creation for the shareholders of Raymond. So what is the accrued value that the shareholders would get through the listing?
So I'll answer
The
that.
second question. Basically, when we did the demerger, you got 1 share of this new company for 1 share that you held in Raymond. So whatever the Raymond price is today, you add that to the price of what it will list tomorrow, will be your accrued value.
Yeah, you asked a lot of questions, so I'll try and remember and answer all of them. And if I miss out something, please point it out and I can add that. See, if you look at the total portfolio that we have as of now, it's about 40,000 crores worth of portfolio that we have in the land in Thana as well as the 6 JDAs that we've got in Bombay. The broad breakup of that is 25,000 crores is what we have in Thana, and about 15,000 crores is in Bombay. Out of this 40,000 crores, approximately about 10,500 crores we have already launched in the market over the last few years at different points in time. Started with 1 project and slowly now we have 6 projects which are ongoing, 5 in Thana and 1 which is going on in Bandra. So balance approximately about 29,500 crores is yet to be launched, and it will be launched over the next 5 to 7 years and finished during that period. So that's broadly. In terms of, you asked also about deliveries, what we have done. In Thana we've delivered 5 towers already. We're delivering 2 more towers this year. And by the early part of next year, we will be delivering 5 more towers in our first project which we had launched. So in all, we would have delivered about 12 towers. And all these projects and towers that we have delivered, they are well before the committed timelines that we gave to the customer. And these were all timelines committed in line with what the market is. Because if I don't commit in line with the market, then my product will not sell. So if my competition is committing 5 years delivery time, my delivery time is either 4.5 or 5, not more than that. But we have actually delivered 2 years ahead of schedule. So the first 3 towers we delivered in 3 years, 42-story towers. And currently we have delivered more than 2,000 apartments, and 2,000 families have actually moved in and they're enjoying our facilities. And I hope I have answered the queries that you raised.
And the 7 more towers that will be coming up, what is the in terms of square feet or in terms of units, how many will be there?
So each tower out of this will be about 1,900 more apartments will get delivered.
And in terms of revenue and profit, how did you close FY25?
FY25 we closed at 2,300 odd number on the top line, and the bottom line PBT is about 370 crores.
Hi. So, first of all, there's an estimated GDP of 40,000 crore. So, when will we see that getting into the books? Like over the next year, say of that 40,000 crore, how much of it is translating into sales and adding into top line? And number 2, I know you would probably not answer this, but is there a fair value pricing for Raymond Realty that you see tomorrow? I mean, analysts have estimated anywhere between 900 to 1400 a share. So, if you have any inputs on that.
I'll answer the second one first. See, our job is to run the business and run it in the highest possible governance standards, and a high quality business run absolutely cleanly with a high growth. After that, what value market gives us is really up to the market, and markets see it from various points of view, and I am not an expert to opine on that, and I don't think we even want to venture over there. And it's a matter of few hours. We'll know by tomorrow in any case. So, I mean, if we are a little patient, we'll meet after the listing and then we can talk about the numbers. And coming back to your first question on the GDV and how much sale, and I'll try and answer it a little differently. See, last year our top line was 2,300 crores. Our sale also, pre-sale was also incidentally 2,300 crores. It just so happened that it was sale. And what we have committed is that you can expect a minimum 20% of growth on this year on year going forward. We hope to do better than that, but our commitment is 20% growth with a 20% ROC. So we will maintain the margins, do well on those, and continue to deliver growth. So in any business, the challenge is always a profitable growth and also a good return on capital employed. It is virtually very, very difficult to deliver on all fronts. Usually, if you're delivering growth, profitability suffers or return on capital suffers because you end up using one resource more than the other. But we are trying to do all, and so far we have succeeded. We are giving high growth, which is profitable with reasonable margins and a very good return on capital. And I don't think there is any other player who's doing this.
Do you think the return on capital suffers from a low base effect? Like, you are relatively a small player rate compared to what others are spending in their projects. So.
No, see, return on capital can never have a low base effect because capital employed is capital employed, and what you earn on that will actually give you the return on capital employed. I mean, you deploy 10 rupees, you will get return on 10 rupees. You deploy 10,000, you will get 10,000. You can deploy 10,000 crores also. But the return you earn on that is in percentage terms. So there can never be a low base effect on that.
Also, Mr. Singhania, one question for you. So, since one of the ideas of listing the realty business was to focus more on the aerospace and textile part of it, so can you tell us how more accelerated the focus on the aerospace division will be now that the listing will go through?
So, the idea for listing was never to focus on aerospace. The idea for listing was simple, to create shareholder value. That is the reason we have listed, to create governance, create best-in-class, and to create value. What's happening on the aerospace side is completely different subject. And there are opportunities there which we are working on. So when we have a conversation to discuss engineering, if that's a very large conversation, I'm happy to do that offline or whenever you want. But here the objective is very clear. Thank you.
So here, so after the 12 projects get completed, how much of land bank would you be left with? What would be other pieces of land which you have probably in the focus markets of Mumbai and Pune? And also on the joint developments side, you said 6 are under development right now. How much more are you chasing? How do you look at the opportunity here? If I may add on to Agni's question, so specifically a real estate conglomerate with a defense and aerospace play. So what parts of the defense and aerospace play are we really looking at?
I think you're confusing something. Raymond Group has 3 businesses. They're separately run, separate management, separate governance structure. So don't mix up aerospace with real estate. It has nothing to do with each other, except a common shareholder.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's where it stops. There's
Sure.
nothing else common between the 2 businesses. And each business has its own governance and management. And today we are only talking about real estate. We are not talking about aerospace. That's a completely different business. And like I repeat myself, the only thing that is common between the 2 is probably the promoter. That's it. You might, most of the shareholders in either of the three businesses will probably be different. In fact, when Raymond had real estate and engineering as part of it, the other shareholders were also prominent. Today, that's not the case.
Yeah, so
Last two questions we'll be taking for the time.
yeah, I'll finish the question that you asked. I'll answer that. So we don't look at it 5 projects or 6 projects or 12 projects. The way we look at it is that what is the gross development value that I have in each micro market? How long will it take to get absorbed in that micro market? So that gives me the time horizon in which it can be absorbed. Because if I am focused only on one micro market, it may be a different timeline. If I divide it over 6 or 10 micro markets, the timeline can vary there. Because each micro market will have a certain capacity to absorb that. So, like I said earlier, out of the total 40,000 crores gross development value, approximately about 10,500 is already launched. A significant part of that is sold also. Some of it has been booked, some of it will be booked as the years go by in the next 2 years or so. So we still have a good significant amount of gross development value on the existing portfolio, which will come in the next 5 to 7 years, which is enough to take care of my next 3 to 4 years of growth aspiration by a wide margin, and I don't really have to sweat too much on that. So that much growth is more or less locked in. So the numbers I'm talking about, you can assume that those numbers will get delivered. Now, as we go on, we are also adding to this GDP. We are not stopping there. This is an ongoing business. It's a going concern. So we will continue to add to the GDP. So currently our target is that each year we should be adding anywhere between 6 to 10,000 crores worth of GDP each year at the minimum. I can't hear you.
Are these new projects greenfield or is redevelopment?
See, we don't look at it whether it is redevelopment, not a redevelopment. For me, we decide which is the market we want to be in. If we have decided that there is this mid-market up to affordable luxury we want to choose, we want to be in deep markets, we don't want to be in far-flung areas. Now from there, we see where the land is available. Now, land can come greenfield, it can come brownfield, it can come redevelopment, it can come in any form and shape. I'm not going to discriminate one against the other. We know how to deal with each of the animals.
So what are the challenges of this business, since you are approaching a listing tomorrow? What are the challenges of this business as you see it right now, having spent 6 years in this?
Challenges in real estate? I have spent 30 years in real estate. Raymond brand has been in it for 6 years. The team is 400 members strong, and each person in the team is from real estate industry, and each senior team member has at least 20-25 years experience. So if you see the skill set that we have put together under the brand umbrella of Raymond, that skill set is quite old. That team has seen at least 3-4 cycles. I have personally seen 4 cycles. This is the 5th cycle I'm seeing. So yes, we stand for all the brand values and we are committed to deliver all the brand values. But in terms of skill set and the wherewithal which we have built is of let's say much more vintage than 6 years. And then on top of that, we have very high governance standards. There is a board which is also spent decades in the real estate industry. You know, we have people from various funds, from the banking industry, from legal background. I mean, you name it, whatever is required for this, we have the skill set. So coming back to the issue of what are the risks, like any other real estate business, whatever risks the industry will have, we will face the same risks. But the point is that we are more than equipped to handle all these risks.